everybody, it's Jody and I'm back with another review. Today I am reviewing the Ohana ck-28-5, which is a concert size 5-string solid mahogany ukulele. I got this ukulele about a month ago and I had not introduced it on the channel and I had not done the review or anything, and I used it on the National Play Your Ukulele Day video that I did on February 2nd, and literally this was all you could see of it in the video, and so many people spotted it and left comments and said, wait a minute, what is that? Some people even knew what model it was just by looking at that. So you guys are good. Yes, this is my new sweet ukulele that I am falling more and more in love with every day. So I'm going to apologize in advance. This review may be a little bit wordy, but I want to talk about this ukulele, but also spend some time talking about 5 strings and what it means to have 5 strings and how you play it. I posted a video and a picture of this on 2 of my Facebook groups, and there were a lot of questions and curiosity, and I didn't realize that so many people were not familiar with the concept. So we're going to talk about that. So let's start off with the specs, shall we? This ukulele, well, first, if you just look at it from here, see it's very, it's got very unique design features, and this ukulele is modeled after the classic ukulele body style of the first ukuleles brought to Hawaii from Portugal. That's right, the ukulele did not originate in Hawaii. It was introduced by some Portuguese sailors. So this is a Nunes style from some of the original ukuleles. So some of those style features include rope rosette, which is an inlay, rope binding front and back, and then this like chevron pattern inlay that goes all the way up the fretboard and then continues up through the headstock. Also, the friction, it has friction tuners, go-to friction tuners, which are also a nod to the original ukuleles. They would have had friction tuners. I thought it was interesting, Ohana decided to put their brand on the back too, so as not to you know, interrupt this whole theme of a vintage ukulele, which I think is really cool. It has another interesting design feature, is that the fretboard is flush with the soundboard, or the top of the instrument. So as you can see, it does not sit on top. I'm going to grab another concert real quick. Okay, sorry about that. So as you can see, at most ukuleles, the fretboard sits on top of the soundboard. See? Okay, so people were asking questions about that. It doesn't affect how you play the ukulele. And speaking of play, let's just get a little listen. That's what it sounds like. We'll talk about the sound in a minute, don't worry. But it doesn't affect how you play it. The only thing that I think it affects is when I'm chucking. Sometimes I get like this really loud kind of clunk, thud kind of sound while I'm chucking, and I kind of dig it. I can't do it on demand yet, though. But also I think that means that this ukulele, if I keep playing it like that, is going to start showing some wear right here. So if you've ever seen a ukulele that's well loved and played a lot by a strummer, or also a guitar, you may see some wear right here. And so I'm prepared for that, and I think that's possibly going to happen even sooner or more easily because of this fretboard being flush with the soundboard. It's that much closer. But I'm prepared for that, and I welcome it, because honestly, I think that'll be fitting for a vintage style ukulele to have signs of wear on it. I think that'll give it character, and I'm ready for it, so bring it. So that is all I want to say about the design features. Oh, it does also has double pearloid, they called them, inlays on the fretboard and on the side. Yay. And it has rosewood fingerboard, rosewood bridge, bone, nut, and saddle. Yeah, it's 35 millimeters or 1 3/8 inch wide up here at the nut, which is pretty common. I'd say most ukuleles are about that size. If you get one that has a bigger size, it's like 1.5 inches or 38 millimeters. I've even seen one 37 millimeters. But so because there's that extra string, I do believe they might be slightly closer together. So they both have the same width. They're both concerts, and it's really hard to tell, but I do think they might be slightly closer together. But I haven't really noticed it that much. It's easy to adjust to. So let's talk some more about the sound for a moment, and again, the mahogany. It sounds like this because of the tone wood and because of the double G string. It's got a really warm, rich, full sound. It's robust, it's loud, great projection, really nice sustain. Really nice sounding instrument. I really like it. It's super light, super light. So it's kind of funny because you pick it up and you think, oh, this is like not going to do anything. And then it's got this huge sound. But light is good because that means the wood is thin. And when the wood is thin, it can vibrate more easily. And it's going to be more resonant, especially since this is solid wood. It's all vibrating as one piece. And it results in a very resonant instrument. So I just wanted to say quickly that I think mahogany is a little bit underrated. Or people are a little bit underwhelmed at the thought of mahogany. And I think that might be just because of its abundance. I'm guessing that mahogany is easy to come by. Certainly easier than koa. Koa only grows in Hawaii. And I just learned recently that it is illegal to cut down living koa. So they have to wait for it to fall before they can use it. So that would make sense why that's more expensive. But that doesn't mean that mahogany is inferior, right? Mahogany is a tone wood that offers a really warm sound. So if you like the sound, then you might want to go with some mahogany. And that is good for you that it's less expensive. You know, this is a solid wood, solid top, sides, back, mahogany, and this was $319. I purchased this from GirlMeetsUke on reverb.com, and I love her. This is the second ukulele I've purchased from her. If there's a ukulele that I've been wanting and I see that she's has it to offer, I will snatch it up, because she is known for giving all of her ukuleles an expert setup before mailing it. Even if you buy one of her like $50 sharks, she'll set it up properly for you, which means no sharp edge frets. All the frets are going to be level, and the action is going to be perfect, so it will be easy to play. So yay, mem. The first time I ever heard a 5-string ukulele was on my friend Mr. Keebler's music YouTube channel. I highly recommend it. He posts a new cover every Friday. It's a great way to start your Friday. But 9 times out of 10, he uses a Ohana 5-string tenor. And the first time I ever heard that, I seriously almost bought one like immediately because I love the sound. But the tenor is not my favorite size. So when I saw a 5-string concert being sold by Mem, I did it. So let's talk about those 5 strings, shall we? The 5th string is a low G. So this instrument has a high G, a low G, C, E, A string. Let's turn it this way. So the 5th, so it's just got double G's. It's got that's this one's name, by the way, is double G. It's got a high G and a low G. So you can hear them both when you're playing. It gives it an even fuller sound. Because of those G's. But, so the sound is very different because of the 5 strings. But here's the little secret. You play it the same way. You don't have to do anything differently. So, it's getting really dark. I'm sorry about if it's like grainy, but it's getting really dark. It's crazy, and it's only 2 o'clock. Okay, so if you're playing like A minor on a regular 4-string ukulele, it's gonna look like that. 1 finger on the G string. If you play an A minor on a 5-string ukulele, you play it the same way. The strings are close enough together that you just do chords the way you've always done them. You're just one finger is pressing down on 2 strings. You might have to press a little bit harder, but it's not a significant difference. So yeah, so this hand, you do the exact same thing. This hand, you do the exact same thing, even on finger picking. So I'm going to lower this for a moment so you can see my fingers. And I'll do a little finger picking. I'm holding it way up high. See, so when I hit that G string, I'm actually only hitting the high G because that one's on top. And if I do it gently enough, that's all you hear. But if I do it harder, you're going to hear both, the high G and the low G. But you do it the same way. There's only one song that I've come across so far that I have to do differently, and that is Tiny Dancer, because I play that one. The beginning of it is like this. See, so your hand just, whoops. And I don't like the sound of that on here. I just think it's a little messy. So I just pluck it instead. Not a big deal. And that's really the only song that I've found so far that I have to modify the way I play. Now, I do think if you have a long thumbnail and a lot of patience, you could just pluck out that low G. Or if you really wanted the low G to be more prominent in your finger picking, you could probably switch the order of these and have the low G on top, and you'd hear that more when you're finger picking. So you can single out the low G, but it takes, for me, a lot of effort. But I think with some practice, you could get better at it. And that's me without a long thumbnail. So yeah, you could play it differently if you want to get real fancy, but you could also play it the exact same way you play all your other concert ukuleles, and it's going to still have a unique sound because you're going to hear the high G and the low G. One quick note is make sure they're tuned because this is an octave, and if one's a little bit flat or one's a little bit sharp, you're going to notice it. And these friction tuners are not my best friend. That's really my only, it's not a gripe because I do think it's fitting for the style of this ukulele, but friction tuners I find difficult because you have to just barely turn them. And these are a little bit stiff, I notice on the G's especially. So you have to use a little more force and then barely turn it. And so it's a little tricky, but it does hold its tune very well once you get it in tune. So, so that's good. And I also forgot to mention the neck is mahogany as well, and it's got it's made out of 3 pieces. There's a joint right here that you can barely see, and there's a joint right here that you can also barely see. It's really a beautiful instrument. Like I said, very lightweight, very well crafted, very vintagey, and just fun and loud and beautiful. So it gets my GirlMeetsUke stamp of approval. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I would love to hear them. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your comments. Also, if you want to comment on my ET strap, nobody commented on that. You all noticed the new ukulele, but nobody commented on my cool strap, which I think just kind of fits the vintage feel, you know. ET was my favorite movie as a little kid. And stay tuned. I'm going to be reviewing this Bruce Way concert ukulele next, and then I'm going to change from the Aquila Now Good Strings to some Worth Clears, and we'll have a sound comparison. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do it, and hit the bell so you know when this thing's coming up. Bye, guys. Don't forget to play your uke today.